So I wanted to go over quickly before we went into the update night stuff. I wanted to go over quickly the stuff that I'm doing to prep for anniversary. Because obviously we don't know what's happening for anniversary yet. We don't know what's coming out outside of the weapon enhancement quest starting today. That's going to be for the next month. So usually a really good way to like stock up on things like mithril ingots, mithril ore, stuff like that. Even though the drop rates aren't usually that good in those quests, it'll still be worth, you know, putting a little bit of stamina into that once the events are done, just to help get some of your stuff leveled up. But we'll talk about all that once I do the update night video, which that'll obviously be later tonight. But the first thing that I want to talk about is just the story. So if you haven't completed all the story quests yet, there's a lot of crystals in here, and these are all super easy to clear. If you haven't had a chance to go through these yet, these are all very, very simple. The only things that are difficult are the extra quest. But even now at this point, most of the folks that are playing the game will probably be able to clear this, unless you're really, really new. If you're really, really new, you might not be able to clear the extra quest, and that's absolutely fine. These are permanent content. You don't have to worry about it, right? You can always come back to it later and worry about it then. But make sure you go through and at least clear all of the main sections, because each of the main sections come with crystal rewards for clearing it for the first time. So make sure that you go and clear out everything in this list, because you will get crystals for clearing all of this out. So make sure you do that. That's first and foremost. If you haven't already, I do have a full beginner's guide over on YouTube. The beginner's guide goes over every single thing that you can do in Ever Crisis. It's a very comprehensive guide. So you can always use the chapters that I put in there to jump around where you want to help you out, talking about things like, you know, materia making, enhancing your weapons, going through all the events and stuff, going through all the summons and stuff. It's a little overwhelming. So if you're new, or if you're a returning player and you don't remember where everything's at, the beginner's guide is a great way to start. Next thing that I've been doing has been summon quest. The summon quests have gotten their drop rates enhanced, so it's a lot better now than it used to be. So if you don't have your summons completely maxed out yet, now's a great time to do so. Obviously, there's a bunch of EX fights that you have to do in order to max them out. But if you haven't done these already, make sure you get this done. There are a bunch of guides on YouTube to clear the EX2 fights. Obviously, if you ever need any help from me, you feel free to ask. But there are a lot of resources on YouTube, a lot of great content creators. And if I remember, which I likely will, I will plug some of them down in the description of the YouTube video, because this is going to go on YouTube as well. But I'll plug this in the description in YouTube as well. Make sure you check them out. There's a lot of great content creators in Ever Crisis. SmellyOctopus is one that I like a lot. Endlessness is another one that does really great content on the channel, on the platform. So make sure you go check them out. There's a lot of people out there that do a lot of great content that really help, both with high level content and both with some of the lower end. So like if you don't have like the premium stuff, if you don't have the, you know, high end, you know, premium banners, there's a lot of guides out there, and a couple of the content creators on YouTube, myself included. I guess I don't, you know, give myself enough credit where credit's due, but you know, there's a lot of stuff out there. Make sure you check it out. The next thing I want to talk about, especially with the weapon enhanced quests coming up soon, is upgrading weapons. So you'll see here in general, if I filter this by level, you're going to see that a lot of the weapons that I only have 3 at level 130 right now, and that's because the current quest on the Dragon Quest mission has you wanting to get 3 weapons to 130. So I just got 3 weapons to 130 that were all OB10. These 2 in particular I got to 130 because of their R ability. The second R ability was 52, and so I pushed it up to 56. And while I don't know whether or not it's going to affect builds, because I haven't really done the research on that just yet, at least not the deep dive research that I want to in terms of making the most efficient builds. The truth is I don't really think that 130 for most players is going to matter all that much in the short term. So I haven't been using those resources. I've just been stockpiling them for now. You'll notice that a lot of my weapons are not at 120. You'll see a lot of 120s here. And then after you get past like the first 2 scrolls, you're going to notice that a lot of my weapons start dropping off into the 110s, right? And the 110 marker, the reason why I get all these weapons up to 110 is because they only use mithril ore to get there, and you get the maximum amount of this second R ability in that spot. The reason why I've been doing this is because a lot of these weapons I'm using specifically just for their second R ability, and this first R ability is usually, not always, but usually easy enough to max out without it being at that full 46 points when it's at OB10 120, right? Now that 130 is a thing, it's going to change a couple of things here and there, I imagine, once we get to more like efficient builds, and once we learn a little bit more about what's an efficient build now when the level cap is 130. But outside of increasing the stats on the weapon, it doesn't increase the damage all that much, right? It doesn't, like, you're only going to get a tiny increase in overall DPS. So as an example, if I'm looking at the Class President's Bracelet, it's got, this is going to be a little bit higher, right? Oh, no, perfect. So it's at 674 right now, at OB10, for physical attack. At 130, it goes up to 705. That is 30 more points, or 29 more points of physical attack, right? It's not nothing. However, that 30 points is usually not going to make or break your attempt, right? So I'm not really concerned about getting it up to 130. I would keep all of your mithril. I forget even the name, what the name of it is. What's the name of the new thing? Refined mithril. I would just save all these. They're really, really rare. It takes 10 even just to upgrade it to 130. And it also takes 50 of these mithril ores. So I would just hang tight on these, and I would work on getting your weapons to 110. And then focus on getting weapons like the attack all allies weapons. Focus on getting these to 120, because this is where you get to that break point where you get to this 15-point break. And you can check this all out in a weapon spreadsheet that I have available. We'll talk about that in a second. But having the all allies effect at the maximum level is way more important than getting, say, you know, Class President's Bracelet to 110 or 120, right? Because it's only going to increase the stats by a small amount. Or something like the Volcanic Heat, right? Getting this to 120 doesn't really matter. Not going to change how much damage it's doing from this. At the end of the day, it's just going to increase the attack stat by a little tiny bit. So not as important as it seems. I think that 110 is fine. Mithril ore is very farmable nowadays, so don't go too heavy into it. Do you want to talk a bit about another beginner's guide video that we have, which is the brand guide? I went through a basic tutorial on what I do for brands. And I do think that if you haven't had a chance to watch it, or if you haven't used brands, if you're a new or returning player, I think the brand beginner guide is a really good starting point to get used to kind of what brands do or what brands are. Which essentially they just add extra stats. So like if I take these branding stones and I hit confirm, this one branding stone gave us 4 magic defense. So what it did was it added 4 magic defense into this rad blade, which, like, obviously that's not as good as you would like it to be, but there are a lot of different stats that come with all of these brands. There's a lot of different branding stones. I do go over all of that in my brand video. I don't normally brand weapons until there is a guild battle or a crash battle where it's relevant, right? So the last guild battle was specifically magic lightning based. So I went through all of my lightning weapons and all of my lightning sub weapons, and I branded anything that I thought would be useful for that fight, right? It makes it a lot less overwhelming because obviously there's I think there's 300 weapons in this game at this point now, right? 364 weapons. That's a lot of weapons to have to remember to brand every single one, go through and make it efficient, right? I just wait until I absolutely need to use it. And then in the second that I need to use it, I go through and brand everything. And then once it's done, it's done. And that pretty much covers the weapon side of things. Like I said, try not to get overwhelmed with the weapons. Just get them to 110, right? And then stock up on these mithril ingots, stock up on the mithril or the refined mithril. And you can use the mithril ore pretty liberally because we're getting quite a bit of them now from the daily premium quest. I don't remember the exact amount that you're getting. It's somewhere in the 30s, I think, which is enough to level it up from 90 to does it actually tell you what the reward is, like what the drop is? It is 30. Great. The initial reward is so it's probably somewhere in that range. I forget where the exact amount is for the drop rate for this, but it usually is enough to get a weapon from 80 to 90, and then you can start hoarding some of that mithril ore to get it up to 110. 110 is, again, the nice break point. I like it to be around the 110 mark. Next, I want to go over materia. So the stuff that you can do with materia right now is there's not a real challenging event going on. There's no guild battle. There's no like max damage challenge going on right now. No dungeon ranking, right? And so what I do is I have been farming these ruin materials. And the reason why I've been doing this is because of simply the cost that it takes to synthesize this at a high level when you're in a guild that has a level 15 materia upgrade. It only takes 4 of the purple knight pieces and 5 of the blue knight pieces to get a 3-star guaranteed for this. And what this ends up meaning is that you have a higher odds of getting 4 and 5-star materia as well, because it can no longer be a 1 or 2-star materia. I like to farm these up because when they do roll 5 stars, they have a chance to roll better stats. And these ruined materia are a great way to increase your damage ceiling when it comes to increasing your character stats, right? Because certain materia, I'll go and show you really quick. Certain materia, such as this, is Suna Darkness, rolled 10.6% additional magic attack. So what this means is when I give this to my Tifa, who has 10,000 magic attack, this gives her an additional 1,000 magic attack just from this materia alone, which is a lot. So at the earlier levels, it's not as important. So if you're a new player, this isn't as crucial in terms of the grinding for this. You don't have to really grind out materia. But if you have been playing the game for a while, or if you're a returning player, it's a great time to start farming some of these lower level or these lower quantity, the things that cost less materias. So you can start rolling these and seeing if you can get some decent substats. If you're interested, I also did a beginner's guide on materia. And while it's not like a super comprehensive guide, again, these are all beginner's guides meant to like try to improve folks that are returning to the game or are new to the game. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, make sure you check out the materia guide as well. I do go over kind of what substats you're looking for, how to farm them efficiently, what you should be farming efficiently in terms of like the materials, because the chocobo farms is where you get a lot of materials from. So if you haven't already gotten these chocobos upgraded and unlocked, this is where I've been getting all of my materials, right? So make sure you get that stuff done. Next on the list I would do is the max damage challenge. You're gonna find that down in the challenge quest spot under max damage challenge. This is a great spot to test out where your current damage ceilings are in terms of just overall DPS. It'll also give you an idea of whether or not you're strong or weak in that damage bot. You can see here that I actually haven't done these in a while. So I actually need to do these as well, because I'm confident that like I could probably hit somewhere around here on a couple of these. But you definitely want to upgrade these, and the reason why you want to do that is because as you get higher up in the total damage ranking, not only do all of these have 200 crystals for first clearing, but as you get up in the levels, you also get more crystals for leveling up, which is also very good. But it's also one of the best collection items in the Highwind from the champion belt. The way that this gets enhanced is from getting higher scores in the max damage challenge. And these increase your HP, your physical attack, and your magic attack by very high margins. You can see here this physical and magic attack is 10%, which again, like I mentioned, is a lot. So very, very important that you go through and do those max damage challenges. I know that they kind of hide them down there, but those are very important. And you want to make sure that you do those to get your overall DPS up. While we're here, we may as well talk about the Highwind collections. You do want to make sure that you get these overboosted if you haven't already. These are overboosted using Astro Winds. Currently, OB5 is the highest that these go. So you can see here, I've already got all of mine at OB5, so I'm just stocking Astro Winds where they inevitably let us go to OB10 on these. But the other thing that you want to do is you want to take some of these ones that have like one stat. So like this one that does limit ability potency. There's one that like this one here that does both defenses is really good. This one does just magic attack. This one does just physical attack. If you click enhance on these, you'll be able to see what gets them that upgrade. And all of these are pretty simple, right? You can see here that I've already maxed everybody out except for Angeal. They just have to hit for 150,000 damage. This includes summons, right? This includes summons. So you can build a team or you can build that character around that summon. So as an example, I have Angeal's Water Arcanum. I can build him around my Tsunami. I'm sorry, is it Tsunami? I forget what Leviathan's attack is. Tidal Wave, not Tsunami, sorry. I can build it around Leviathan's Tidal Wave in the max damage challenge and just have him hit for a boatload, and that'll increase this by 0.1%. And although 0.1% doesn't sound like a lot, remember that this adds up from all of these, right? So you do want to keep an eye on this, right? Make sure you're upgrading these as best you can. Next thing I want to talk about this is again for new and returning players is the Crisis Dungeons. If you have not done all of the Criterion and Crisis Dungeons, there are a ton of rewards in here and materia recipes as well. So if you haven't gone through and done all of these and gotten S+ on all of them, for most of the players that are returning, you should be able to clear these with S+ no problem. For the folks that are newer to the game, I would hang tight until Anniversary, because it's likely the Anniversary weapons will be powerful enough to help you push through most of these. If not all of these. But there's a lot of crystals in these as well as a fun exchange shop, which has a bunch of rewards as well. But if you look through rank rewards, you can see here as you go through the ranking, or the first time rewards rather, you go through and see you've got 10 mithril ore, crisis metals, here's 500 crystals, 15 mithril ore, here's some 5-star materia materials, another 500 crystals, etc. Right? You can see down the list. So for the most part, these are all fairly simple. Like I said, this isn't very challenging. Most of these you'll be able to probably push through pretty easily. If you need help with these though, again, there are great guides on YouTube in terms of just like what you need to do, but we can always go through and like show you the map and stuff and show you where everything's at. But again, I think this is something that you'll all be able to finish out pretty easily. And again, the rewards are definitely worth it. So make sure you go through and do your Crisis Dungeons. Then I want to talk about really quickly, go back to the daily premium quest. This is a once a day quest that you should be doing every single day. It costs 60 stamina. which is exactly how much stamina you need to consume in solo content for your guild in order to get the guild reward. But these premium quests now give a ton of premium loot, and you do want to make sure that you're doing at least one of these weapon enhancement upgrades every single day, because there is no reason not to be getting mithril ingots and mithril ores every single day. If you do need character memories, I totally understand. If you haven't gone through and cleared these for the first time, they do have first clear rewards. So although you do have to waste your 1 a day use to get that first clear, it is still worth getting the crystals, because obviously for your anniversary, what are we all trying to do? We're all trying to pull, right? That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to pull, right? So go through, clear all these out once a day, just to make sure you're getting your crystals. You'll get your full guild battle solo battle stuff as well as clear out your solo battle mission for the daily quest as well. On Wednesdays and Sundays, you'll see specifically a weapon parts request pop up, where you can actually put in the reward set of any featured weapon that is currently available in the pool of weapons. So what that means is any weapon that was not a limit break weapon, a crossover weapon, or any other type of limited style weapon that they've run over the last last 2 years. Those are all available to get additional weapon parts for on Wednesdays and Sundays. So if you get on Wednesday or if you get on Sunday, make sure you set this up. Make sure you've got it set up to some weapons that you need to overboost, some weapons that you want to get up a little bit stronger, and then make sure that you do those every single week. The Rocker's Guitar is a perfect example of a weapon that everybody is going to want over the course of time, because it's a weapon that gives your entire team exploit weakness, which just makes them do 30% more damage whenever they're hitting a weakness. And it does it for your entire team, which is very, 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 very good. So Rocker's Guitar is a great example. If you're ever looking for something that's what you're trying to find there, you can always check that out. If you do want some guidance on that, I do have a weapons spreadsheet that I do try to maintain every single week when new banners release. This is just a supportive guide. This isn't an end all be all. Just because on this guide, this spreadsheet that I've got, just because a weapon is in B tier doesn't mean it's not useful. I did try to include that on like an FAQ page, so if you're ever interested in checking that out, I'll keep the link down in the description below. And obviously for the folks that are in the KatKrew guild, you're more than welcome to check it out. I have it pinned in the Discord channel, so you can always check it out in the Discord channel. It's pinned right there. Super easy, super piece of cake. If you are not part of a guild and you're watching this video, you're more than welcome to join the KatKrew guild. I'll have the details down in the description below. You're more than welcome to join us. We have plenty of open spots. We don't have any requirements to join the guild. We just play every day. We do the guild battle when it pops up, and we do the best we can. We have some fun. We've been top 500 in the guild battles every single week, every single month for the past, I think, like 5 or 6 months now. So we've actually been doing great in the guild battles. We currently have 9 players in the guild. So we're really low number guild, but we've been doing pretty well in the guild battles. And I think if we got more guild members, we'd probably challenge some of the higher guilds. So if you're ever interested in checking it out, feel free to join us. Like I said, it's free to join. Don't have to have there's no requirements. You don't have to play every day. You just got to stay, active enough so that Ever Crisis doesn't kick you out. I think if you don't play for 2 weeks, it kicks you out automatically. There's nothing I can do about that. But as long as you play the game and you're having fun, that's all we care about. So, but yeah, other than that, that's what I'm doing to prep for anniversary. Obviously, just clearing out my dailies every day, doing the things that I just mentioned. Obviously, the season pass will update in 2 days as well, so we'll be doing that. And then the last thing I want to mention is just the free daily poll. This resets daily every day at 4 o'clock. You'll probably see this. There'll be one leading up to anniversary. I'm confident there'll be one leading up to anniversary. If the update is next Saturday, I expect that free poll will likely come up on Saturday, because they usually do a lead up to anniversary free poll. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you do a free poll every day. This one lasts until September 6th, so make sure you do this as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, everybody. Like I said, we're just trying to focus on getting the crystals done. We're just trying to, yeah, that's true too. If you're on mobile, you can do that extra 10 pull every single day. And there's 100 gems that you can do for watching those ads too. So both of those are by watching ads. You can get 100 blue crystals every single day. But yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun. There's a lot of ways you can get crystals right now. There's a lot of ways to prepare for anniversary. And like I said, anniversary is only about 10 days away at this point. So you still have plenty of time to get all that stuff done though, especially if you're a new player. There's a lot of content that you can join and do right now. Make sure that you go clear out these events as well for the first time, because each of these events that you clear out for the first time gives you 100 crystals as well. Even the co-ops, which I still need to do 3. These are just 100 crystals each, right? And remember, it only takes 3,000 crystals to do a pull, so it adds up pretty quick. So just make sure that you're clearing out this content. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below. I appreciate y'all watching. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe. We do a lot of Ever Crisis content here, so if you're interested in checking us out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do have banner reviews, all kinds of fun stuff. Appreciate y'all watching, and as always, we'll see you again in the next one. Have a great day, YouTube. Bye!